Hello and welcome to another What I Eat in a Day. So this is going to be a meal prep video. I work 3 12-hour night shifts per week and I want to show you what I ate. So I'm going to show you my own version of my favorite salad at Cava, and I start with these falafel bites that I like to buy from Trader Joe's. And we're just going to put that on the baking sheet and bake it per instructions. I think I did bake them an extra 10 minutes because I want them crispy. And here I have this grain-free rice. It's made out of lentils and chickpeas. I got those from thrivemarket.com, and I'm just going to cook those in a rice cooker. If you do cook these, I definitely suggest following the package instruction because the texture didn't come out right, but it was pretty okay. So now we're going to make this cabbage carrot slaw, and we're going to start off by shredding a carrot, cutting up some purple cabbage into smaller pieces, and then also a 1/4 cup of cilantro. And I have some salt to taste, some apple cider vinegar, a splash of maple, some Dijon, and that is it. We're just gonna mix that up and put it aside. So the falafel's ready. We're just gonna let that cool down and make our dressing in the meantime. So I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup of tahini, the juice of 1 whole lemon. We're gonna sprinkle some salt to taste. It's supposed to be a teaspoon of maple, but I accidentally added too much, and then I added some dill and some cilantro, and I thinned it out with water until I got the texture I wanted. And now we're going to plate or put these in our meal prep container. So I'm going to start with loading them with some spinach. We're going to add in the falafel bites, the rice, and then I added the slaw and some cucumbers on the side opposite of the spinach so that the spinach doesn't wilt while it's sitting in the fridge. And I'm just going to portion out the dressing. I think this is 2 tablespoon little containers, and I'm going to put those in the meal prep containers. I will leave a link to these below. These have really been life-changing for me. With just a little sprinkle of salt on top, they came out perfect. So now we're making some buffalo chicken wraps, and here I have 3 cans of chickpeas rinsed and drained, 2 ribs of celery, some dill, some cilantro, onion and garlic powder. And I have this buffalo sauce from Primal Kitchen, and then some cashew mayo that I made. I'll leave the link below. And some salt to taste, and we're just going to transfer everything to a larger bowl. I did use a potato masher for this. I definitely suggest a food processor, but I was just being really lazy. So now all we have to do is throw all our ingredients in the bowl and then mix it up. So I added just a little bit more mayo and buffalo sauce because it was a little dry. And next we're gonna stuff our taco shells. So these are almond flour taco shells by Siete. And I'm gonna layer it with spinach, some broccoli sprouts, some carrots I julienne, and then also the buffalo chickpea mixture. And we're gonna do this 8 times. And then I just fried these on the skillet. This is the non-stick skillet. I sprayed it with just a little bit of avocado oil, and I toasted it on each side, and this is how they look. I'll leave the recipe below, but honestly I wasn't a fan of it, but crisping it up with the tortillas did make it taste a whole lot better. And later I took some buffalo sauce with me to add on the side so it wouldn't be so dry. Otherwise it was just a pretty okay recipe. And now it's time for dessert. So we're gonna start with this organic plain unsweetened cashew yogurt. I'm just gonna put the whole container in there. And then I'm gonna add 4 tablespoons of this cocoa hazelnut spread. As you see, if you can tell, it doesn't have any refined sugar. They just use coconut sugar. And I'm gonna give that a good mix. And it didn't come out how I thought it would. So I'm gonna add this monk fruit sweetened drinking chocolate mix, about a 1/4 cup of that. And then I also added about 2 tablespoons of almond butter. And after it was too late, I definitely realized that I could have made this a lot less fattening than it was, but that's okay. And as you can see, I added just a tablespoon of maple to get rid of that fake sugar taste from the monk fruit. And I'm going to divide this evenly into my containers. This makes 4 portions, so I had a little bit left over. And I'm just going to top it with some almond flakes and also some hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are crazy high in protein, but they're also crazy high in calories. So I used just a little bit of that. And then I also added some organic cacao nibs to each of them just to give it, it tastes a little bit like chocolate chips but unsweetened. And this tastes more like a pudding instead of a yogurt, but next time I'll definitely use some peanut butter powder to still get the protein in, but with a whole lot less calories and fat. And here are all of my meals. If you're wondering what I'm having for breakfast, I typically don't have breakfast on the days that I work, or the nights that I work rather. So I had an orange to snack on, and then I'll also have this protein smoothie. Sometimes after I work out, it's just one banana, a pack of acai, some wild blueberries, strawberries. I fill that with milk. I flavored it with a little bit of vanilla, some hemp seeds, some PB Fit powder. This is my favorite. And by the way, I'm splitting this with my husband. I'm not gonna drink this whole thing because it's very caloric, but it definitely helps me recover after a workout, and it's a nice sweet treat as well. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the recipes and you wanna see more meal ideas, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next week.